Welcome to Regarding Automobiles. My name is Phil. Today we are going to be dropping the rear subframe out of my 2006 Mini Cooper S R53. Let's get started.
Regarding automobiles, yeah.
Okay, so now I'm going to do the easiest exhaust bolt removal ever, because I just had this installed. So it really should be quite simple. Okay. So this is the custom exhaust piece that they put together for me. But because it was an eBay header, I think the angles are a little bit off. Normally I think this would be sort of turned 90 degrees sideways so you could get at both sides, but it's up down. I'm blaming that eBay header for that, but I can still get at it. It's just not, oops, not super easy. But it is rust free. So that's a big advantage. There's not even enough room in between the nut or bolt and the flange to get a wrench or a socket. So I don't know how they tighten that. So something that was supposed to take me 30 seconds is now going to prevent my entire day of work. Okay, we're back. And again, this is the bolt I'm trying to get off right up here. I now have, I think, what I need, which is a 17 mil crowfoot. And what I didn't think about is if it was metric or imperial or SAE, I guess. But whatever, it should be close enough. Okay, so that's gonna just be like up there. This is, come on and go up. Yeah. Yep. Totally worked. So much easier when you have the right tool, right? Okay. So that is now separated. Next, I just need to remove the supports in the middle of the exhaust and then the hangers at the back. Okay, I've got it off. I just need to figure out what I'm going to do with it while I work on the rest. Okay, so first thing is to release the parking brake, but also I'm going to loosen the parking brake bolt there, just so it has a little slack when I'm taking the caliper off. Okay. Has a 7mm. I was about to take the bracket off and take everything off, but since the whole thing is coming off, I think I can just leave it like this. I just need to get caliper up over the control arm and it should be good. And then the whole thing will drop down. Though it might be easier to get leverage on these bolts when it's on the car. I'll just do the other side first. Okay, I've got a small problem here. On the other one, this emergency brake cable seems to be a little bit seized. So I don't know how I'm gonna fix that. Just brute force maybe. That is really stuck in there. Okay, this might need to be replaced. I have to cut it out. It is not budging. Okay, I've been fighting with that cable for like 40 minutes. It's not moving, and it's compressed. It won't budge. I let it soak in PB Blaster for an hour. Still didn't work. So yeah, I'm just gonna chop it with some cable cutters, and I've already ordered new ones. They were both kind of in bad shape, and you can get 2 new ones for 60 bucks. So that's another thing to be replaced on this car. Okay, yeah, I had to just, it was all brittle and rotten on the inside, so I just chopped it with some bolt cutters. It was so rotten, it took no effort at all. I was actually just testing it before I turned the camera on, and it cut right through it so easily. I didn't expect it, so I didn't get it on camera. But yeah, anyway, I just chopped the top off, and this instantly released. So yeah, it was just seized and massively corroded. Anyway, 30 bucks for a new one. Get those in the next week or so. Let's keep going. So the problem right now is these brake lines right here. I'm gonna have to disconnect them because they're attached to the subframe, which means some brake fluid is gonna spill out. I just don't know if I can just plug it with something. I have to figure that out. Until I figure that out, so next I'll take this bracket off. So next I'll take this bracket off. There's 2 13s behind it. Take the rotors off, and then I'll decide what we do from there. Okay, here's a better look at the brake lines right here. So I'm gonna have to, this is a 17, I think it's like an 11 on the other side, but it's right on the subframe. So really what I'm gonna have to do is disconnect it, and then I think maybe I can just reconnect it again. We'll see. The other thing is, which I've never seen anyone mention it in the other stuff to see. So this is the subframe here, where the control arms are connecting here. And then there's this line, which I guess must go to the battery. Not sure what it is. I'm gonna have to pull all this shielding off and take a look at that before we go any further. Also forgot to mention that on the back of the hub, both sides have these little bolts here holding in the wheel speed sensors. So those will have to come out. These bolts here are actually holding the wheel hub on, right there and in that hole there. I think I can leave those for now, and they'll just come off with everything. We'll see. And then the shock will have to come off, I think, or I can drop the whole thing down and off. We'll see. Okay, I've got to remove all the heat shielding from around the battery box and the exhaust tunnel. I think I can leave this stuff back here, but all this has to go. Yeah, that's nice. All right, well, this one I think we can just bend. Oh, wow. Safety goggles first, everyone. subframe's okay. Jesus. I'm not sure if you can see how disgustingly rotten this is. See this? Like, it's just, it's not in good shape. But yeah, I guess I don't need to take all that out. I can just bend it down a bit. There's not much left to go back up. Jeez. But I guess the question is where those battery cables, I guess that's what this is. So hopefully it's tough to see here, but here's the battery. I think these are battery cables, and they come they come under the subframe here and go up, I guess, into the battery box. I'm gonna go take a look from the top. Okay, here's the battery box. I'm gonna guess it's coming up here. Oh. It's hard to do with one hand. There we go. Ram it here. Okay, so this is going down under the subframe. I need to get it detached and through that hole. How is this not in any of the videos I watched? Like, they're just like, take the 5 bolts out and drop the subframe. Don't mention the battery cable being in the way the whole time. I have a feeling there's a plug here that I can take out. I just gotta figure out how to get that off. So everything I found is pry it off. I just don't want to break it. This seems like it's one of those little plastic things. You're like, oh, just whatever. If I break it, I break it, and then it's $200 for a new one. So that's a tab. The whole thing comes off. Okay, I put a shout out to Facebook and waited 40 minutes and no one answered. So it turns out you don't disconnect it from this piece. You disconnect it from the, I guess, control module on the other side. It's super easy. You just press the little tab at the top here. Yeah, you just push this little tab and it slides off super easy. So now I'll be able to feed this whole thing down through the hole, I think. And how I figured that out was I went to go look at this part to buy, and it had this all together. So good thing I didn't spend too much time trying to pry it all apart. Okay, so now I just need, I guess the whole thing can go through. I have to cut the zip ties below. Okay. Okay. That's one thing out of the way. So in the meantime, I promised to get a wider angle lens, but this is the, I guess, sensor for the headlights angle. So I'll just disconnect this cable. Okay, I've got the sensor off. I just need to disconnect these two bolts and these 2 bolts and just take the whole thing off. Okay, so you saw me put these brake lines in an older video. These are the hard lines coming off the car, but they are attached to the subframe with this sort of bracket here. So the plan is to just disconnect both sides and reconnect them off the subframe. I'm hoping that there's no real requirement that that's there. It's just holding it in place. Some's going to drip out, so I'll have to re-bleed again after I do all this, which is unfortunate, but not that big a deal. I mean, the lid is still on, the reservoir. The car's not running or anything, so there should be not a lot of pressure, and it shouldn't lose that much. So we've got 11 on one side, 17 on the other. And I'm just going to try and get this off. Okay, so that's done right there. You see that? Yeah. That was a pain in the ass because as soon as it starts leaking, everything turns super slippery. It's hard to get an 11 mil on this. I used a flare to break it free, but then I had to use like a normal wrench just to move it a little bit at a time. There's not a lot of room back there. Anyway, it's free. And that way now I can sort of keep the caliper out of the way. Down here on a box while I drop the subframe. I'll do the same on the other side. Okay, on the other side I made it a little easier on myself. I just got some vacuum caps and put it on, and it seems to be holding that way. I didn't have to rush to get the caliper reattached. And I could probably leave it like that for a while. So I may actually switch to that on the other side too. Okay, so one last thing to undo. Right here, little brackets that are holding the e-brake cables to the subframe. There's one on each side. Once those are loose, I've already clipped all the little zip ties that connect everything. So I think probably I'll be ready to drop the whole subframe. I'm going to disconnect the bottom of the struts there and leave the struts hanging. I think that's going to be easier. We'll see. What the hell? Holy crap. So the two middle bolts, on the subframe actually hold the gas tank up, like hold the strap that holds the gas tank up here. And I was kind of afraid that I was going to have to take the whole gas tank off, which I probably wouldn't do, and I'd probably just stop this whole thing if I had to do that. But these are on sale for like 13 bucks each at Princess Auto. So I thought I would now I'll loosen all the bolts and I'll drop this son of a drop this mofo down. Oh, don't. Oh, you whore. You whore. I didn't even put that much pressure on it. Okay, well, good thing I have that supported, I suppose. Straps off. Son of a... Whatever. Okay, well, the stupid bolt holding the strap on the gas tank just snapped. Super easy. It's all rusted out. I'll have to buy a new one. Damn it. That also means I probably have to drill it out of the subframe. Damn it. I'm just trying to not be underneath it at any time that I'm loosening a bolt, which I think is just smart. Okay, now's the moment of truth. I've got all the bolts semi-loosened. I've got the jack up under it. Now I just have to drop it. And no matter what it looks like here, I'm not under anything that's dropping. So don't worry about that. I realize now this is probably a 2-person job, but it's happening. Okay. Here comes the moment of truth. Question is it on the jack? Is it cut up on anything? Oh shit. The thing I put there to get caught up on it. Again, it may look like it, but I'm not under this. Oh. Okay. Caught it somewhat. Still good. Okay, well, speed sensors are strong. It was holding up the whole subframe. That's what threw it off balance. Well, that was kind of ugly, but it's out. Well, it wasn't pretty, but it's out. One subframe removed. Okay, so that's one subframe removed. If I had known how much work it was going to be, I'm not sure I would have done it. But it's first weekend of April right now, and I want to get this sort of refurbed and back on the car for the end of April, so I can get it on the track in May, assuming it's not snowing. So the main plan right now is to take everything apart and get the subframe to a powder coater, and I've got some other plans here. I was going to make a video like I did for the front end where I refurbed the whole thing, so taking it out and putting it back in, but I'm going to make 2 videos. This one's just the removal. The next one will be, rebuilding it and putting it back in. So stay tuned for the next couple videos where I work on this and put it back in the car. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.